Okay, so what I have is the forward scan instructions. Lots of warnings. So it looks like you need a whole bunch of tools, which I don't care much about because I'm making a dipping transducer out of this thing. So it looks like we have a housing, and then the transducer slides in. And something about anti-fouling paint, dead rise angles, none of which I care about. Okay. This thing comes with a blanking plug, which is this guy out here. So I don't care about this guy because it's just a dipping sonar, so we don't care about this guy. We care about this guy, which is our thing where thing would be inserted into. So what I'm going to do is undo this nut. Then remove this rubber washer. Discard this protective sleeve. Come on, out you go. And then got my thing out here, so I simply slide it in. Since my cut is perfect, there's no gap, so that's part of the high performance fairing thing. So we're gonna seal it up. Rubber washer goes on top. And we get a nut back in its place. So we have that in. And I just have to tighten up the nut. Okay, so I'm not following the instructions precisely since I have a bit of a problem here, which is my head hits the raised lip of the metal, head of the nut, which is fine because this is basically held in place anyway. And I'll make it a little bit tighter just to make sure that works fine. In my case, I don't care about water intrusion, so this gasket is really a waste of space. But it's good to have anyway. So I will be tightening this up with pliers. Now I take the forward scan, I slide it into the thing, keeping in mind there's a little there's a little plastic thing out here, which a little flapper. So we'll be using that little flapper to basically they use it for sealing when it has a blanking plug in there. So shove it in there. That should. And that's my transducer. I just align it. There's a little mark out here which says bow. So since my thing is going to go in the water, like this, it's going to be, the bow sign is that way. So basically you just use a little force and then push it in. Okay, so I actually had to remove mine and then mount it upside down. The reason for that was this lip out here, which was impacting the thing. So you need to make sure that your hull is actually completely flat without this curvy lip. In my case, I've got the curvy lip, but I don't care much about sealing water, so basically just threaded it upside down, and that worked fine. I did have to use these plier, these vice grips to get it in. They do give you some silicone lubricant, so you lubricate the thing. This little sleeve is actually a dielectric insulator. That's if you have a metal hull boat. I do have metal, but I don't care because this thing is pretty thick, and even if it eats it up, it's like $5 to replace. So this thing goes in here. Make sure that the bow is pointed correctly, bow arrow, and then just slide it in. And it's a bit tricky to slide it in because it does this thing. So what I did was I used these basically clips to basically ratcheting clamps. So I basically put it here and then ratchet it in, so then it would come out from there. That makes it a lot easier because the O-rings can get displaced, so slide it in. Just be aware of that. It is actually, the lubricant actually does help. Make sure it's positioned correctly and then slide it in. So unfortunately it's a bit of a tight squeeze because they expect it to be watertight. In my case I don't care because yeah, water intrusion is not a problem since the whole thing is going to be dipped in water. And as you can see, I just slid the whole thing in. It slides pretty easily with the silicone lubricant, and then you basically just tighten this cap nut, squeeze it in some more so it goes through all the way, and tighten this cap nut some more. That's pretty much it. So basically this is the technique. Basically push against the metal part and then squeeze it in, and then tighten the cap screw a little bit, and then squeeze it some more. So here I do squeezy, I tighten the cap screw, and then tighten the cap screw some more, squeeze it a little bit, basically repeat until you've got the whole flat edge out of the thing, and then it's ready to go. And once this thing comes out, this little black portion, it's ready to go. So you can see it's out in mine. So she's basically ready to go. Cap nuts tightened as far as it'll go, and just pointing towards the bow. So we're good. And now to fix it on the boat. Okay, so here's the completed assembly. And then if I flip it up, So here's the completed assembly. If I move the arm up, see the arm slot into place, and the bolt just goes through the holes to hold it down. So that's the bolt. And you can see the whole assembly is fixed to the boat. It goes down, and then it goes, and that's the ForwardScan unit. And I'm just going to put this bungee cord just to hold it in place for traveling. Although this will also hold it in place, so it's not going to go anywhere with the bolt holding it in place. So that's it, dipping sonar for the front of the boat. So that's my ForwardScan deployed in the water. You can see there's no obstacle in front of me, so it's showing clear. Now if I were to move the boat, let's move it so that I put these pilings in front of me. You can see the pilings up ahead, aimed directly at the pilings. You can see it's still showing clear. That's the ForwardScan. As I get close to the pilings though, better put this in reverse. You can see the pilings are starting to show up. Twist this around. You can see the pilings have shown up now, that we are pretty close to them. Let me reverse this thing out. You can see the radar's also picked up the pilings, so yeah, so as the ForwardScan hits the piling, you can see the piling appear as the beams hit the piling. It's directly in front of the nose of the boat. So you can see the piling start to appear now. It's directly in front of the nose. That's what it is in real life, and that's what it is on the ForwardScan. You can see it appear as a solid obstacle. So if we switch to my usual mode, can see the piling kind of appear. So it's telling me there's an obstacle up ahead. It's not perfect, but and of course on the radar it also shows up. So it's piling. That's a Halo 18 Plus. Clear, and the forward scan is showing clear as well. A little bit shallow water up ahead, which is picking up. You can see it's locked in place. If I cut the engine off and I reverse out of this area. It's still pretty good at speed. It's picking up. Stuff ahead in the distance. Let me switch to forward scan only. And you can see it switched to 240, which is like 240 feet. And you can see there's like the bank on the far shore, which is trying to pick up. So it's not perfect by any means. Let me position it so you can actually see what's ahead. And I can kind of see that it's detecting 4 objects. It's in auto mode, so it's 240 feet out. So it's not perfect, but it's a good tool to have anyway. I wish it was a little better than this, but it's not bad. So let me lift it up and show you. Let me cut this radar off. Switch it to standby. And yeah, it's showing the water ahead is clear-ish. But it does get narrow on the shoreline, which is basically 240 feet away. Oh, so the way you lift it up is really simple. Pull this pin, remove this screw bolt, flip the unit up. Yeah, my unit is up. Put the bolt back, prevent it from flying off during road travel. Put that little pin in. And then bungee it down. This is again just to prevent it running around during road travel. So